All right, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakwakwadash, double honors to my elders and my apostles, a great millstone, which are the men that rule well, the men that taught us the truth, and of course, peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, and Lord's will. The title will be, of course, we are prophets of doom. All right, which the elders have been going into this, so. I'm gonna go ahead and speak on the topic as well, man. All right. For you naysayers out there, because there's a lot of people basically, naysaying, man. We're not living in times of peace, and some people think we are, but we're not. Okay. And a lot of people talk mess, especially about us here at GMS, because all we do is talk about bad things in the sense that, all we're talking about is how evil is coming and Jacob's trouble is coming and wishing bad on the tribes. And hey, man, we're just blowing the trumpet, man. And I'm going to grab that scripture in Joel. I'll probably end it with that one. But, of course, what good, besides obviously the kingdom of heaven, because in reality, all the evil that we quote unquote talk about, it's really not supposed to be evil to us. It's really evil for everybody else. So really, we're not saying anything that's actually negative, but yeah, we're prophesying of doom. And what's doom? Let's get what the word doom is, because doom isn't just death. No. Doom means a law, statute, decree, right? It says administration of justice, judgment, justice, equity, righteousness. That reminds me of, what is that, Ecclesiastes 1? King Solomon spoke about this, right? It says judgment, decree. So it says a judgment, all right? And it says when you go down here, to set, place, to put, to do, the law, all right? So doom, we're prophets of judgment, and that's very true because we are the seers, all right, of our nation. We are the prophets, because to prophesy means to say before, and we're prophesying of justice, all right, and judgment. Of the things that have to be brought forth for all the wickedness that was committed here in America. See, you Israelites don't want to hear it because you are hand in hand, even if you don't admit it, or even if let's say you don't like Edomites. But if you want America to continue, you're holding hands with the wicked. All right? Because this is their world. This is their kingdom. All right? This is their time to bear rule. So if you don't want this to end, you're in the wrong spirit. Like this dude Alazar, from the head of Sakari, he had made a statement, Lord's will, I'll do a video on it, about how we might be here, we could be here another 1,000 years. We don't know. And it's like, well, a spiritual man, judgeth all things. And if you're spiritual, you'd know that we're not in no time frame to be here for another 1,000 years. We're at a point where, there's no return for certain things here. There is no golden age of America. It's to a point where people are on social media, all right, already gathering together to rebel against the government, And what? That's a part of the doom. Uprisings. The scriptures say insurrection, which means a civil uprising, right? Or an uprising, not civil. It ain't going to be nothing civil out here, but that's what it means, an uprising, right? The scriptures say the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They shall not regard kings nor princes. That's all doom. That's coming. That's all prophecy. So we're prophesying of the evil to come. Now I'm going to start off in Ezekiel 2:9. This is talking about the scriptures. It says, and this prophet Ezekiel, which, if you've been studious enough, or if you've been in the truth for some years, you know that Ezekiel, all right, represents the prophets. Okay? The book of Ezekiel is a very deep book. It says Ezekiel 2:9, and when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein, right? Talking about these words, these scriptures, the different prophecies. You see, because the prophets back then, they had, obviously, depending on the time frame, they didn't have the whole roll how we have it right now, where it's like codified and things like that. But, the prophets that were, of a latter time, and they had the prophecies of, let's say, Jeremiah or Isaiah, and it was before this lifetime, they might not have known everything that was contained therein. They didn't really fully understand what the image or what the prophecies are talking about. But we're living in a time where we do, because it's so apparent. It's in our face in this go round. You see? And it says, and he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, meaning throughout the whole book, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Right? The Bible contains a lot of judgment, man. All right? When you even look at our history, we have a very We have a bloody history. We have a history of rebellion, a history of our people, our forefathers going off. All right. You have more bad Israelites than good Israelites. There's only a remnant. That's why only a remnant is going to be saved. Even during the time of Noah, the Lord, you got to think about you got to think about how Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai judges. All right. You got to think about, for example, let's go back to the times of Noah. What did the Lord do? He flooded the whole earth and only saved 8 souls. He literally restarted humanity with only 8 souls. And that's not a fairy tale. That actually happened. Right? And that was back then. How much more now? How much more now where wicked men have sought out even more wickedness to do worse? You know, during the Tower of Babel, right? You had wickedness then, Sodom and Gomorrah wickedness then, but this is all that plus more. The scriptures say that her sins have reached into heaven. You know, there's no other nation that has done the wickedness that Esau Edom has done. All right, like them. All right? So what do you think the Lord's going to do? He's going to judge them. All right? And that's what's coming. Judgment for all the wickedness that has been committed against the Lord and against his people. More importantly, against his elect, because that's who really matters. But what? Within the scriptures, there's a lot of, because lamentations means to lament something, to mourn, right? Mourning and woe. Woe means destruction. You know, because at the end of the day, the bad has to come before the good. The kingdom of heaven isn't established yet. All right. And if you don't want the kingdom of heaven to be established, amen. He that despiseth the word shall be destroyed. Okay. Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, Proverbs 13, I believe. All right. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Right. So, yeah, that's right. That's who we are, man. The prophets were always the prophets of doom. You know? Yeah. Why would we tell you lies? We'd be lying if we said only good is coming right now. See, we preach of the good things that are coming when the kingdom of heaven is established. But before that, a great deal of evil such as never was has to come. You know, and all the prophets prophesied of, you know, wherever they were, you know, in whatever captivity they were, they prophesied against that nation because it was always meant to happen. You know, it was always meant for the Lord to bring down the heathen. Okay? You had the Babylonian Empire, the Persians and the Medes. You got the Greeks, Romans, and then now what? You have the new Romans, right? The Edomites, man. Okay? They have to be brought down, and Israel has to be lifted up. That's the prophecy, man. But what? Evil is coming first before we can see the immortality. A bunch of evil has to come. We have to live in a society that's not comfortable to live in, you know? And we're going to keep pushing that message because that's what the Lord wants us to do. That's what's written within the scriptures, okay? Jacob's trouble is before the kingdom of heaven. World War III is before the kingdom of heaven. Sorry to break it to you, but many nations have thermonuclear missiles and they didn't make them in vain. They all were made to be used. All right? Jeremiah 51. Okay? When you read the scriptures, man, World War III has to happen. Isaiah the 13th chapter. Okay? 2nd Ezra the 16th chapter. Those visions were written down not in vain. All right? And it said, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence, right? Because that's all that's coming. Pestilence, sicknesses, all right? Different sicknesses. Hey, I always like to mention this to anyone that I talk to about the scriptures, right? We have to keep in mind the movies of the Exodus, right? Because remember, this Egypt is going to get plagued as before, meaning how the way ancient Egypt was plagued, so is America is going to be plagued because America is the new Egypt. We have to keep in mind, none of the movies did justice to what was actually written within the scriptures. When you read the book of Exodus, okay, and when you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon, where it actually gives a little bit more detail unto the things that happened unto the Egyptians, you know, the plague of darkness, the movies couldn't really depict what actually happened. All right, the movies didn't depict. I don't remember any movie depicting the apparitions that happened in Egypt, meaning, you know, people seeing spirits and seeing demons. That happened in ancient Egypt. And this is supposed to be a time as never was. It's gonna be way worse here in America. Okay, thus saith the Lord. Okay, we have to keep in mind that in ancient Egypt, the plague of darkness was so bad you couldn't light a fire to be able to see. You know, they would hear rushing water, but there would be nothing there. People were bugging out. People were going insane. That was ancient Egypt. We have to keep in mind that this is going to be as time as never was. So how much more scary is it going to be here? How much more of doom and gloom is going to be here in America? Okay? Joel 2:1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, which Zion it represents Israel. We're Zion. We're also Jerusalem. It says, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Right, the day of the Lord cometh, man, and it's close. How much more now? How much more now? See, that's how you know, man, we ain't going to be here for no 1,000 years, man. You know, Lord forbid, according to the prophecies, man, we're right around the corner, man. You know, and yeah, people can say what they want. Oh, people have been saying that. Yeah, well, the end time prophecies are right here in your face now. They're not around the corner other than the MOTB of World War III. All right, but, you know, the major prophecies are right in your face right now. Okay? It says, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, and there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, right? Because that day of the Lord is going to be a very dreadful day. It's going to be a day that you know, and it's a season. It ain't just one day. That it's going to be a time as never was, like the scriptures describe it, because all the evil that's going to happen in one time, plus the missiles, that's never going to happen again in history. All right? That's why it says that. You know, there hath not been ever the like. There's not going to be another day like it. You got to think about it. The Lord's literally going to plague Egypt, all right, as before, all right? He's going to cause uprisings. He's going to cause fires. He's going to cause natural disasters. And then what? Finish it off with the missiles. Okay? That's not going to happen ever again, because once the kingdom of heaven is established, there ain't going to be no MOTB after that. Ain't going to be no more poverty within our walls after that. Ain't going to be no more missiles. We're going to go back to ancient things. Okay? So, hey, yeah, we're the prophets of doom, man, and we're going to keep prophesying, all right, justice at the end of the day. We're going to keep prophesying what's righteous, all right? So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushua, B'Hashem, Ruach HaKodesh. The bonus to my elders and my apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us as truth, peace, blessings, and salutations, as always be to the elect. All right, shalom.